it, but should we? And I think we're going to have to start having those kind of discussions sooner rather than later, or else we're going to find ourselves in a world of hurt. And, who knows where that could go. And who knows where this could go. By the way, if you are a Sharknado fan, I guess it premieres tonight on the Sci-Fi Channel. I was kind of shocked at Sharknado 2 that they did a Sharknado 2, but I heard nothing about Sharknado 3. But I saw a preview of it, and it's called Sharknado 3. Oh, hell no. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. Where are all... Well, that's... It is what it is. If you want to watch that kind of stuff, go right ahead, folks. I'm not going to make fun of you because it is so over the top campy. Who is it? Ian Ziering? I guess he heads the cast for a third time. Now I don't know if I was his character, I'd be like, well, this is ridiculous. I'm just moving to Canada where there cannot be a tornado because it'll all be frozen. Either that or move underground and just say screw the sharks. Everybody else is in trouble. I wouldn't be out there trying to protect the citizens of from another. How are these things forming? I didn't really kind of get that, but okay. You think that global warming people would try to figure out how these shark tornado things are happening, but it's raining sharks. I don't know. Speaking of citizenry, this from the Washington Times, getting back to being a little bit serious here. New citizens of the United States of America can now skip the oath to defend the United States. What? U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announced yesterday that it will no longer require incoming U.S. citizens to declare that they will bear arms on behalf of the United States as stipulated in the Oath of Allegiance. Well, if you're not going to be willing to defend the nation that you want to become a citizen in, then why do you want to become a citizen? You don't want to participate in its defense, but you want to reap all the rewards and benefits of being a citizen? Look, we got enough stupid green tree-hugging pacifists that are born here. We don't need to import any more. Now, the USCIS, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, it said new citizens may include phrases for reasons related to religious training, or if they have a conscientious objection, including the phrase, "I will perform non-combat service in the armed forces of the United States when required by law." You need to be able to defend the land. Conscientious objector. We're not importing conscientious objectors. We shouldn't be. What about Islam, Muslims? They're not going to pledge allegiance to this nation. We know that. So why are we even letting them in and letting them become citizens then? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Either you're going to be willing, like regular. Well, I suppose the reasoning behind it is if you can have natural born citizens who can refuse to serve in the military to protect and defend this country, then why shouldn't you allow immigrants who want to become citizens from opting out of such a requirement as well? And I know this came about because of the baby boomers in the 60s with Vietnam, them wanting to burn their draft cards and move to Canada, and not be responsible to their nation, regardless of whether or not you actually agreed with the war or not in Vietnam, or battle, what have you, the action in Vietnam. That wasn't the point. The point is that this nation, although you're free to do what you want, the freedom is not free. There is a price for it. And you just can't obfuscate that responsibility. Well, it just makes no sense. Well, it is what it is. Hey, by the way, this is this came across, and I didn't realize that there were this many mixed, people out there with mixed marriages. Did you know that there are many celebrities out there who, white celebrities who have a black spouse? Robert De Niro and Halle Berry are two of the most well known that have African American spouses, but there are a bunch of others. Like I didn't know Matthew McConaughey. I don't keep track of these people, by the way, but the reason why I bring this up is because we have this notion that, we have so many people out there who are trying to separate the races. I mean, divide us. And you've got to... These are celebrities now. And most of these celebrities back who? The Democrat Party. And they back who else? Barack Obama. And yet they're out there, trying to separate and divide us racially. And you have all of these celebrities that are white celebrities that are married to that have an African American spouse. Like George Lucas is married to a black woman. I didn't know that either. Again, some of these are pretty surprising to me because I don't keep track of Hollywood and Hollyweird and all that kind of stuff. Or they're they have a long going or strong relationship with you got the Kardashians are famous for dating and marrying black men. Even Robin Thicke is with a black woman, I guess Paula Patton. I didn't know that either. They started dating when Robin Thicke was only 16 years old, I guess. So, and I think they're going through a divorce now, but that's wasn't that because of Robin's infidelity? In any case, you're talking about Hollyweird with all of these celebrities out there that are dating or married to African American spouses who still allow for this divisiveness in the Democrat Party. And they're Democrats. They're liberal Democrats. I just don't get it. I mean, Captain America, for crying out loud. Chris Evans is, with Naomi Harris, of all people. Captain America is with, he's white. He's with, but I know some people, hey, there's somebody that's really famous. You got Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey. Well, to be fair, Mariah Carey is much like Barack Obama. She's half black. I know a lot of people don't realize that. Mariah Carey's only half white. So I don't know if that counts, but, hey, for Mariah Carey, that counts because her parents are of mixed, race. So, I guess it counts for Nick. But that's probably another bad example, like Robin Thicke, because they're getting a divorce or have divorce or something. I don't know. But it's but the whole point is that whether or not they're still together or not, at least there was a point where they were together. They got together, and they're liberal Democrats, and the whole point is that they're backing the liberal mantra of divide and conquer the races. I don't understand it. I don't understand. Well, yeah, Wolfgang Puck, too, by the way, is dating a African-American woman. Wolfgang Puck, really? Anyway, so they're out there dividing people up in the Democrat Party. And so you got to ask, how is it possible that Hollywood can be so supportive of liberal? You know, they talk about the lack of gays in major roles and in the entertainment industry. Well, who's in charge of the entertainment industry? Liberals. And you're trying to blame other people for this type of behavior from the liberals themselves. Because I always said liberals are the ones, you know, they're pointing the finger at everybody else, but they're the ones that are really the bigoted, out of control, phobic types of people, you know, homophobe, what have you. It's always coming from the left, and they'll always tell you what they really are because they'll be trying to blame somebody else for what they really are. So, you know, look, if you don't have enough gays represented in front of the camera and behind the camera and in the offices, then whose fault is that, considering that Hollywood is run by a bunch of liberals? You can't complain it's the Republican Party, because they're not the ones running the show. You know, and you constantly hear, well, geez, you know, all we see in Hollywood, it's a bunch of Jews are running everything. Well, the left is complaining that Hollywood is run by a bunch of white Jews. Well, if you're in Hollywood and you're running Hollywood, how can you be complaining against Hollywood? And then blaming somebody else. It's your fault over there, lefties. It's not the right's fault. But look, this is what the right does, the left does all the time, is they want to blame somebody else, anybody else but themselves, for the problems that they foment, the problems that they support, the problems that they create. And then, you know, when things don't go their way, they want to blame somebody else for it. Well, you know what? I'm calling you out. You know, if you guys are going to be dating or married to a different race than you are in Hollywood, then how the hell can you stand there and support the liberal agenda from the Democratic Party and from race baiters like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton? Really, you should be ashamed of yourself, because especially if you're married to, if you're white and you're married to an African American, how insulting is that? I'd be highly insulted and wonder really what you were doing. But then again, I guess the African American in that coupleship is also supporting the same thing. Really kind of weird. Well, folks, I want to thank you for being here this evening. We are out of time for today, but we will be back here tomorrow live, same time, same back channel, of course, Rod channel. Until then, this has been the Rod Eccles Show. I am Rod Eccles, your lovable host. I'm out.